Yeyote aliye na kinga hafifu mwilini yuko katika hatari ya kuambukizwa COVID-19. Hao ni kama watu ambao wanaishi na magonjwa kama vile virusi vya HIV, kansa, TB, kisukari, miongoni mwa magonjwa mengine. Lazima wazingatie matibabu ili kuboresha kinga mwilini. Lazima wahakikishe wamepata dawa ipasavyo. Tembelea kliniki yako au kituo cha afya kilicho karibu nawe kwa maelezo kamili kuhusu jinsi ya kupata dawa. Pia wasaidie jamaa na rafiki kupata dawa. Dumisha mawasiliano nao na ufuate mwongozo wa kiafya kutoka kwa kituo cha afya ili kujikinga na virusi vya korona. Pata habari kuhusu COVID-19 kupitia vyanzo vinavyoaminika. Piga 719 au bonyeza *719#. COVID-19 inazuilika. Jilinde, linda familia na jamii. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na serikali ya Kenya.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for keeping us company. Welcome to Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Edward Kabasa. Narok County will begin COVID-19 mass testing exercise for its entire population next week. Area Governor Samuel Tunai says the process will start with the county's quarantine facilities and those with frequent history of travel from and to the county. The county is yet to report any case of COVID-19. Purity Musel with that report.
Speaking at the county headquarters in Narok during the weekly COVID-19 update, Governor Tunai said that the testing drive will start with the 66 people held in various quarantine facilities at the county.
We will commence mass testing of all the people currently in quarantine in the county, as well as health workers, security personnel, and people from the border areas who are known to be frequent traveler into Tanzania. Currently, we have 66 people in quarantine across the county.
Tunai, who appealed for cooperation from residents, said his administration was not leaving anything to chance, as all the 6 counties that border Narok have reported cases.
The latest trend of confirmed infections in our neighboring counties is of great significance to the county of Narok. It means that 4 of the 6 counties that neighbor Narok now have confirmed cases of infection. Indeed, surveillance over the last 1 week by the Narok COVID-19 Preparedness and Management Coordination Committee confirmed that areas in Narok bordering Tanzania are now at a great risk of becoming the next national hotspots of infections. In particular, Olpusimuru and Olderkesi in Narok West, Mausa, Olmesutie, and Ilkerin in Loita, and Angata and Mashangwa in Transmara West are now in great danger of getting infections from across the border. In these areas, movement of people and trade, particularly livestock and foodstuff, is still fluid, with communities in both sides of the border interacting regularly.
Narok County Commissioner on his part assured that his security team will continue to enforce government regulations. Narok County has not reported any case of COVID-19, with at least 20 counties affected. Elsewhere, Gilgil Member of Parliament Martha Wangari is calling for immediate closure of Kenya's border with Tanzania and Somali as cases of COVID-19 at border points continue to increase. The legislator attributes the rising number of positive cases of COVID-19 in the country to the open borders between Kenya and the East African communities.
Mtu akae na mama yake, wacha Tanzania wafungiwe kwao, Somalia wafungiwe kwao, na Ethiopia wafungiwe kwao, na sisi pia tufungiwe kwetu. Tukisha manage, then watu wataanza cross across the border. Lakini kama tukioperate normally kwa hizo boundaries, ile magonjwa tutapata na ile rate tutapata ya infection inapanda na inaendelea kwenda juu. Ndio maana unasikia unapata kesi Migori, unapata wapi, sababu ya boundary points. So zifungwe kabisa, na zikuwe manned 24 hours 7 days a week.
Purity Museo, Channel 1 News.
Health workers in Busia County have vowed to down their tools Monday, citing failure by the national government to harmonize their risk allowances. The Kenya National Union of Clinical Officers Secretary General Busia Branch Philemon Nakoche says the intended industrial action will not be reversed until all grievances raised by the members are addressed.
Comrades, power! Comrades, power!
The Kenya National Union of Clinical Officers Busia Branch has vowed that its members will abscond duty Monday after the national government allegedly failed to address their concerns. The health workers want the state to promote clinical officers on lower job groups, offer fair remuneration of employees on contract, and harmonize risk allowances.
Sisi kama wafanyakazi wa Busia tunataka kutahadharisha kaunti hii, na tunaambia gavana wetu alinde nyumba yake, aangalie nyumba ya health. Kama kuna watu wamelala usingizi pale, afanye mabadiliko, la sivyo tunaenda mgomo wa kaunti hii.
They say their intended mass action is not in any way connected to the nationwide strike called by the union's national office. Wednesday this week, a group of health professionals issued nationwide strike notice beginning Monday, owing to lack of funding to health workers attending to COVID-19 patients and lack of supply for personal protective equipment to workers.
Sisi tunawapa muda, hata Jumapili tukiitwa tutatoka.
On Friday, the national government scheduled a meeting on Monday with the aggrieved parties for a way forward.
Kuna maafisa wetu ambao wamekaa katika job group moja, kiwango kimoja kuanzia wakati ambao waliingia kwenye serikali. Kuna maafisa ambao wameandikwa juzi, wamewapita, wameenda mbele. Hii inashusha moyo sana katika utendakazi na hatuwezi kufanya kazi yetu vizuri.
Irene Mchuma Udim, Channel 1.
The National Hygiene Program Initiative tailored to cushion the youth and vulnerable persons across Kenya against adverse economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic is steadily gaining momentum. A total of 2,200 residents in Nakuru have been recruited into the program since President Uhuru Kenyatta launched it last month. Already, the national government has paid out 10 million shillings to youth in Kisumu County under the program dubbed Kazi Mtaani.
Speaking after inspecting the Kazi Mtaani project in Nakuru County, Interior Principal Administrative Secretary Kang'ethe Thuku says the second phase of the program will be rolled out nationwide within a month and will bring on board more than 200,000 youths.
Tangu nchi hii ilipoti kesi ya kwanza, serikali ilifanya mikakati mingi. Kwanza serikali ilifunga restaurant, alafu ikafunga masoko. Na kwa hivyo vijana wengi ambao walikuwa wanafanya kazi katika area hizi walipoteza kazi.
According to Thuku, the first phase of the initiative, which is a pilot program, has recruited 26,148 youths in 8 counties. He revealed that the program had now been extended to Naivasha sub-county to cushion scores of workers who lost their livelihoods after closure of several horticultural farms.
Na serikali ikafikiria kwamba ianzishe kazi katika mitaani, yani informal settlement. Na maana ya hii kazi nilikuwa ni kwamba wale vijana ambao walikuwa wanaajiriwa katika area hizi wapate kazi ya kila siku.
Youths from Eastleigh in Nairobi and Old Town in Mombasa, which were confirmed to be hotspots of COVID-19, have also been drafted into the program. The National Hygiene Program also targets youths working in the informal sector, such as artisans, hawkers, casual laborers, among others, whose source of livelihoods have been disrupted due to the global health crisis that has slowed economic activities.
First of all, I'd like to thank the government so much kwa kutusaidia kwa kupata kazi kwa vijana. Yeah, it has really helped us.
For me, it has come at a very good time where I'm out of school and I'm able to do something productive.
Tunafurahia serikali kutoa kazi hii ndio tufanye nini? Ndio watoto wetu wasiaguke na njaa.
Meanwhile, the national government has paid out 10 million shillings to youth in Kisumu County. The 2,300 beneficiaries enrolled under the Kazi Mtaani program earned 653 shillings each per day over the last 1 week, where they were involved in cleaning up informal settlements in Kisumu City.
Na hii kazi imetusaidia sisi kama vijana na kila mtu hapa around, like sasa hatukui idle, at least napata kitu ya kufanya.
Interior Principal Administration Secretary Thuku Kangethe says the good progress has been recorded in Obunga, Nyalenda and Manyata slums. He said the national government was in the process of enlisting more youth in Nyando and Nyakat sub-counties where floods have caused havoc. Because of the success of the program so far, Kisumu Deputy Governor Dr. Matthew Owili says the county government is exploring ways to sustain the program after the national government pulls out. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Timothy Kipnosu.
Let's take a look at other matters now. The Kenya National Highways Authority requires 2 billion shillings to repair damaged road infrastructure in various parts of the country. The chairperson of KENHA board, Wangai Ndirangu, says the money shall only be used in places where urgent measures are required. Ndirangu was speaking in Murang'a during an inspection tour of roads in Mathioya and Kigumo constituencies.
Mathioya and Kigumo constituencies has been worst hit by the rains, with the roads and bridge being cut off. According to the Kenya National Highways Authority Board Chair Wangai Ndirangu, who was accompanied by KENHA Director General Peter Mundinia, the organization has so far spent over 500 million shillings to rehabilitate roads in areas where mobility has been curtailed by the rains.
There's been massive level of disruption and destruction of the road infrastructure to a tune of 2 billion Kenya shillings. To date, we have expended about $500 million shillings in the repair work, and so we still have about 1.5 billion shillings in gap to cover the level of damage that we have seen in our road network.
Mundia, on the other hand, said they were short of cash to repair all damaged infrastructure, but were engaging the government in a comprehensive assessment of the damage.
There is other movement which is actually affecting every structure on that land. And we believe what is necessary is a serious research on why the ground is moving, even before we actually come in and repair the road. However, I want to urge all the motorists, because as it is, the rains have been too much, and there are areas that we have even had a mudslide, to be able to be very cautious, and especially where they are going through areas that have been flooded.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Bentro Enjue.
We are taking a very short break, but we do thank you very much for keeping us company. Channel 1 Lunchtime News continues shortly.
I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you say sometimes it lasts and loves, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts and loves, but sometimes it hurts.
Welcome back to the program. More than 7,000 residents of Kipidi West in Tana Delta Sub-County have been rendered homeless after their homes were marooned by flood waters, which have continued to cause havoc in Tana River County. Areas worst affected include Mwanja, Othole, Samicha, Kikomo and Handaraku, which are completely marooned and not accessible by road.
At least 4,000 residents in the Tana Delta managed to relocate to Marafa area and have nowhere to stay, as the remaining 3,000 are forced to stay within the flooded village, putting them at a high risk of contaminating waterborne diseases. Families say they are yet to receive any support from either the national or the county government, despite Area Governor Dadho Godana and Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Omalwa touring the county.
Sasa hawana nyumba, wengine lingia nyumba yetu, wengine hana makao, hana matanbari, hawana mahali kukaa, hana mahali kulala. Wakona watoto, sasa wengine walala nje. Na wanakuja hapa, chakula pia hakuna, watu kuna shida.
According to area member of County Assembly Musa Wario, residents are forced to share the few available amenities, which makes it difficult to observe the social distance.
Katika nyumba moja kuna kaa famili 4. Hapo kweli kutakuwa na social distance. Tayari hapo pia tunahatarisha maisha hawa kazi. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaomba kwa serikali kwamba tunahitaji kwa haraka na kwa dharura mahala malazi. Hawa watu wapewe ili angawa waende ngambo wa pili ama mahala ambayo wameona kwamba wataweza kwenda, wapewe malazi. Na mchana pia tuko katika msimu wa mvua. Mvua inanyesha na jua inawaka na usiku pia ni umbu. Hawa watu wanashambuliwa na umbu. Hivi saa hii imeripotiwa ama tumeelezewa kesi mingi sana pia ya malaria kwa sababu watoto wengi wanalala nje.
They are now calling on well-wishers to move with speed and offer humanitarian support to the families who are in dire need of food and non-food items, together with medical support.
Sisi kufika hapa kwetu paka ufike sisi hapa paka ufike na boti. Hakuna gari wala Honda. Ndege na boti peke yake. Tunahitaji chakula, tunahitaji neti, tunahitaji tarbala, tunahitaji dawa. Na saa hii na sisi unajua tunafunga Ramadhani. Na watu saa hii watu wakufunga naye hali yao ni shida sana.
We had flood just 2 months ago and now we are having it, and by September we are expecting another one. So if we are urging the government, if you can get permanent solution to this menace, we'll appreciate.
Elsewhere, residents of Baringo County have been urged to protect water towers from the current and future generations. Speaking while launching Kipchichor Water Project in Tengez Ward, area member of County Assembly Silas Tochim said that the rate at which locals are encroaching forests is alarming, saying it was a recipe to the landslides which affected the region some weeks ago.
Pia wito ningetoa kwa Forest Department, wapate kushughulikia na waangalie kwa nini mnaangalia wananchi mpaka wanaingilia source of water or source of springs. People are encroaching na amuangalii kazi yenu ni nini watu wa forest.
Geoffrey Kimosop, a resident, said the project will help the locals who have been suffering to get clean water for decades now.
Hii maji watu wengi watafaidika kwa sababu hapa Soroka hakuna maji nyingine ambayo tunaweza pata ya gravity. Hii ni mto mmoja tu ambaye inatusaidia wote. Ni kama tu eneo yote ndio wanapata hii maji.
Watunze intake kwa kupanda miti na kutofanya mambo ya ukulima, mambo ya kulisha wanyama. Hii intake ipate kutengwa, ipate kuwa set aside, ifungwe kabisa ili wanyama wasiingie. Kwa sababu ikitunzwa, panda miti na kuchunga vizuri, maji itaongezeka na wananchi watafurahia.
Ben Chumba reporting for Channel 1 News.
Let's take a look at some politics now. A section of Samburu leaders has welcomed the recent move by the Jubilee Party to reorganize its leadership in the Senate. Samburu County Woman Representative Maison Leshomo and Samburu West Member of Parliament Naisula Lesuda say the changes will be intrinsic in helping the President implement his agenda for the country. The two leaders have downplayed the ensuing fallout in Jubilee, saying the changes made by the party were long overdue.
The same people who are in the same party are just every day fighting everything that the president wants to do and wants to talk about. The president told us please serve your people for now. When politics comes in 2022, this public are the ones who will elect you after you have done your work.
The reorganization of Jubilee's bench in the Senate saw the appointment of KANU Samuel Pogesho as the new leader of the majority party in the Senate.
Tukiwa wana KANU, sisi ndio tunachunganga serikali hii. Sisi ndio tunachunga serikali hii. Wana KANU. Wengine wale anasema Jubilee wanahangaika barabara. Wana masimamo.
The lawmakers expressed confidence that more parties will buy into the president's development agenda, even as they accused those opposed to the changes of playing politics with the country's development. Private entities are stepping in to assist the government in the war against the coronavirus. Such institutions include Mabati Rolling Mills, that has donated hand-washing equipment and sanitizers to Machakos Police Station. The donations, according to the organization, are meant to help those in the front line fighting the spread of the pandemic.
Speaking after receiving the donation, Machakos County Police Commander Karanja Muiruri commended the organization, noting the donations are key to preventing further spread of the deadly virus. Muiruri appealed to Machakos County residents to disclose information of people sneaking to the area from identified hotspots. In Sultan Hamoud, it was joy for the vulnerable families after a team of well-wishers donated foodstuffs. The initiative, dubbed Feed Sultan, was aimed at cushioning needy families who have no means of survival.
Ni lazima viongozi wale wengine, ni lazima serikali iangalie barabara ya miji yote iliyo katika barabara iliyopakana na barabara wa main road ya Mombasa to Malaba, ione jinsia ya kusaidia watu hao.
Meanwhile, vulnerable families depending on tourism in Narok County that has been crippled by the COVID-19 have something to cheer them up after receiving donations from well-wishers. Taufik Hardware manager Mohamed Ishaq Humo and Baptist Church Bishop Sam Monka donated food to area Governor Samuel Ole Tunai to be distributed to the most affected. Mohamed said the gesture was to share the little they had as this time of Ramadan, saying some families are struggling to have a single meal since restrictions were instituted in the country.
They have lost their jobs or their source of income. We have felt that this is the right time to help our people.
Elsewhere, Wajir County government has distributed relief food to a number of families following effects of the corona pandemic in Wajir town and its environs. Wajir Governor Mohamed Mahmoud expressed fears that the numbers of the vulnerable families were increasing at an alarming rate, and national government alone cannot provide all the food needs to support them. In Garissa, at least 800 children from vulnerable families that were displaced by the floods in Garissa town received dignity kits from UNICEF. Speaking during the launch of the exercise, the County Children's Services Coordinator Mohammed Hussein said that the distribution took a while because of the rigorous exercise of identifying the most vulnerable to benefit.
Many of the people who survive on wages are now forced to stay at home because there are no even wage maybe to undertake, meaning that these households are likely to get exposed to maybe abuses like the father or the mother abandoning the children. There's possibility they can abandon, they leave the children, and maybe they just disappear because they may not have anything to.
Finally, the Shri Hindu Sanatan Mandir in Ruiru has donated foodstuffs to over 1,000 families living in Ruiru. Area Chief George Mwaura encouraged the communities to make sure they share with their neighbors who are facing challenges at these hard times.
Nashukuru jari wale ambao kwa njia moja au nyingine wamepungukiwa, na tunashukuru sana hawa ambao wafadhili wetu wa leo wamejitolea na wamepeana chakula kwa familia 1,000 hapa kwetu Ruiru ambao wako na shida sana ya chakula.
Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
All right, let us take a look at some sports news now. Nairobi Boxing Association Chairman Kennedy Otieno has pleaded with the government to allow gym owners open their businesses and ease restrictions in order to help local Mwananchi get their daily bread. Otieno called on the government to adapt to the virus and ensure that stringent measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus are adhered to in all public business areas. Thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Channel 1 Lunchtime News. On behalf of the team here, we do wish you a very good afternoon. My name is Edward Kabasa. Our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Maura. Good afternoon.